Hi, welcome back. I thought in January, after I had given myself some time to ruminate on everything that I read last year, that I would do a quick run through of my top books of the year. Our first videos that we ever made were my top 10-ish books of 2014, and they were very long, those videos, and we had to split them into two. So I am not going to go through each of the books because a lot of them I did talk about in videos, and I will post links for those videos below in the info, and you can go watch them if you want to hear me talk about them more. So in this one, I'm just going to list my top 12 or so books from 2015. We're going to start way back in January, so the first books that I read for the year, and then progress. So the first one was Okay for Now by Gary D. Schmidt. I did talk about this one in a video, and I talked about #PerfectHumanBeing for the first time. The second one was Marie Lu's The Young Elites. I loved this book. The narrator makes some bad choices. The second book, The Rose Society, came out, and I have not read it yet, but I'm looking forward to it. It looks just as great. The third one is Scarlet Undercover by Jennifer Latham. You heard me gush about this book on more than one occasion, and if you haven't read it yet and you've been watching my videos, what are you waiting for? Go read it now. I'll wait. The next one is Under a Painted Sky. This one I have also forgotten the author of. Lisa will put it up right here. So Under a Painted Sky, I talked about this one in our Female Friendship Friday video, and I have given it to several people at work, patrons who've come in, and they've really loved it. The next one is the second in the Gentleman Bastard series by Scott Lynch, Red Seas Under Red Skies. And just like the first one, there's a big heist, and it's basically if Lord of the Rings met Ocean's 11 with lots of swearing and pirates, and also ripped your heart out, and lots of jumping back and forth in timelines. It's so good. It's so good. I love those books, and I have to give like at least a year or two in between reading each one because the end of them always, I'm just a wreck. The next one is the first in the new Veronica Speedwell series by Deanna Raybourn. I also talked about this a bunch, and I just talk about Deanna Raybourn a bunch in general, both on this channel and in my real life. A Curious Beginning is the name of that book, and it is awesome. It's funny, and there's a mystery and murder and butterflies and a hot taxidermist. So, okay, the next one is called Into the Dangerous World. It's by Julie Chibbaro, and this is a book that is set in the 80s. Yeah, it's set in the 80s in New York City, and it's about a young woman who grew up kind of on a commune. Her dad was definitely mentally ill and very paranoid, and their family lived out they were squatters on some land out on Long Island, and he dies at the beginning of the book, and they come into New York City, and she's an artist, he was an artist as well, and she's coping with his death and learning how to live in a more modern world and learning about street art in New York City in the 80s. And it's so great, and there's beautiful illustrations and art throughout the book, and it's just written really, really gorgeously, and I really enjoyed that book. The next one is Dumplin by Julie Murphy. I want to brag that I knew Julie Murphy before her first book, Side Effects May Vary, was published. She's also a librarian, and we've met at TLA a couple times, and I'm a huge fan of just everything about Julie. She has a Max from Where the Wild Things Are tattoo on her arm, and she has awesome fashion sense, and she is hilarious, and I really, really love Dumplin, which I should do a whole video about, and I'm going to reread it so that I can do a better job at doing that video, and also I will do it after Lisa reads it, because I don't want to ruin anything for her. The next one is a nonfiction book. It's by Aziz Ansari, and that is modern romance. He uses material from his stand-up routines, and then he uses information that he talks about in his book in his stand-up routines. But it's about love in our modern digital age, and how people meet, and how we ruin relationships and how we can have better ones, and he studies the anthropology of it and the numbers, and it's really fascinating. And if you listen to the audiobook, he yells at you for being lazy and not actually reading the book. It's pretty good. Probably my favorite book of the whole year is I'll Give You the Sun by Jandy Nelson. I did a whole video on this one as well. So you can go watch that to see me just flail around and gush about it. But it is such a gorgeous book. One of the last ones is Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda. Lisa also just finished this book, and she did the same thing that I did and that our coworker Karen did as well. And that is, we listened to the audiobook, and just the last third of the book, we just sat on our couch and did nothing and just listened to the book. Because it is a delight. It is so good. I should also do a video on that one. But yeah, Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda by author's name here. So good. So good. And the last one is a really quick one. It was a book of poetry, the new book of poetry called Felicity by Mary Oliver. I just really like Mary Oliver's poems. They're concise. They're all full of nature imagery, and yeah. If you haven't read Mary Oliver, I don't know why you haven't. You should go do that. Especially this one. It's a pretty short volume. And there's just some really beautiful things. I did take a picture of the end of one poem, and I posted it on my Instagram. You should follow me there, reading_rainbow_hair, and you can see a little reason why I like her so much. But yeah, that is a short list of the books that I liked the best of 2015. Like I said in my last video, I did read 140 something books this year. So those are the print novels and audiobooks that I listened to that I loved the most. I'm going to do another video later where I talk about a bunch of the Maverick list titles that I loved the most. So I did not put those in here because we're going to do a whole thing about them later. That's it for me. You should do all those nice things that you can do on YouTube. Like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, comment below if you read any of these books this year. Share. Don't share, but you should probably share. That'd be nice. And I'll see you next time.